Okay, so this video is for the men. Hello, my name is Karen. I talk about all things sex, thriving in your singleness, and self-love. I know a lot of my videos tend to be geared towards women, but I did want to make one especially, specifically, explicitly for men. Okay? Did you know that all the wealth and the power and the prestige and the respect in the world is tied up in your sex as men? Yes, I'm going to get into it. Okay, so sex is your life force. It is literally a vitality, not just for men, but for women and anybody who has a sex drive or a body, okay? It drives you. It's one of the reasons why, like, when you're young, your hormones are making that that concoction for you to be a man. Your voice changes, you get facial hair, right? Like, your sexual energy is moving all of those things. And when you are careless and when you are wasteful with that sexual energy, your chances of building a life and a legacy, which I know that men are very attracted to that, building a legacy of respect and a legacy of honor and a legacy of prosperity, honestly, is typically hard to do. I'm going to look down. So I speak from a heterosexual place. I am a woman, so I can't speak from any other place. I speak from a heterosexual woman, and this is my experience. So as a man, when you can controlling your sex drive is like directly tied to your legacy, respect, and how your life ends, who is at your bedside. I know that a lot of young men are just, you out here trying to chase it, you trying to get it, and it feels good. And I also acknowledge that I'm not a man, so I don't know what that feels like inside my body. But I do know this. There are very strong indicators for men and their legacy by how they have sex. Let me break it down like this. Let's say you have let's say you're a man and you have a family. So you're a man, you have a wife, and then you have kids, and you stir that pot up. So you are a man of great legacy. You have done amazing things. There are so many men in culture who we can point to, right, who seemingly had it all. And then because you cannot control your sex drive, or because you maybe have been known to be promiscuous, and so now people want to bring back that promiscuous past, the unit that you have built can come crumbling down because of sexual allegations, especially from a high-powered man. We know these things. We've seen them in society. So that's one example, right? So if you can't control your sex drive, when you have built that unit, it is typically very hard to keep that together. And even if you stay together, there will be lack of trust. You will be teaching your sons, right, how to honor women. Basically, you are his example. You would be teaching your daughters how they should be treated and what they should tolerate. And it just causes a lot of stress and mistrust and just all kinds of things in your marriage that honestly are not worth it. And I would say, don't take everything from me. Go find a man, a trusted man who is married, who is faithful to his wife. And he will tell you, no, it's not easy, but he will tell you the sacrifice that I would have to make to be unfaithful to my wife is not worth it. Like, I know a married man who was like, I love women with big booties. I love women with big booties. But if I'm in a room with a woman with a big booty alone, I gotta go. Like, I know myself enough to where I gotta go. Like, he is so concerned about his legacy, and he is so concerned about his respect and the honor that his wife feels, that he will not be in a room alone with these women, because he knows he will probably cheat on his wife and he will lose his family. Like, he is very clear about all these things, and he's like, it's honestly not worth it. And he's a great man, and and my experience, and he is one of the men who I look at and I say, I want my husband to be like that. And he's also one of the men in my life who I deeply honor and I deeply respect and honestly revere because of the way that he lives his life. Not because he's perfect, but because he chooses to honor his life and his legacy. Another thing is your wealth and your ability to focus is in your ability to prioritize your purpose over your pleasure for a moment of time. I have heard many men specifically say, man, I went on like a fast from porn, or I went on like a fast from women, and my money went up, my energy went up, I got better in the gym, like all these things, because you spend so much energy, resources, times trying to chase women that time you could be spending building legacy, creating networks, growing at your craft, moving and shaking, like whatever it is that you need to be doing. But if you prioritize women, it is very hard to prioritize your craft as well. And even men who are able to be at the top of their game, but they don't prioritize, right, like family and fidelity and thinking through the sex game for themselves, it typically ends in a not so good place for them. Like they typically crumble. So that is something that I would love for you to think about as a man as well. And then I'm looking down, y'all. So I wanted to go back to the men who are able to, right, reach their point and to reach their purpose. They get the money, right? But they forgot to honor their wives, so they're divorced. Or they're still with a wife who they haven't honored, and their children have grown up to hate them. And so what a lot of people, especially people my age, like in their 20s, don't realize is that we are going to grow older. And as you grow older, the club gets old, the yacht parties get old, the sections get old. Like you can still do that maybe in your 40s. People not really doing that in their 50s. And then 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like that's not really something that you're going to do. You're going to want a partner. You're going to want someone who is there for you when you are sick. You're going to want children there with you when you're on your deathbed. I cannot tell you, I've worked in the healthcare field before, how many older men are alone. Alone. And they die faster because they are alone, because no one is coming to see these men. They're in the beds by themselves, haven't moved from that spot in years. So deeply alone. So deeply alone. And so I really want for you to think about, like, take yourself out of this 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old body, and what do you want to see in your future? Do you want to see your grandkids? Do you want to have family around you who loves you, who supports you, who cares about you, who calls each other and say, okay, who's going to take care of Papa? Papa needs this, Papa needs that, whatever. You're going to grow into a different phase of your life, and you really have to think about what you want that phase of life to look like, because you can live the player life. I know people personally who love them, who live the player life, moving new women every month, different country. It gets exhausting. They are exhausted. And they're still doing it, right? Getting older and still doing it. But they'll tell you, Corinne, I just want to settle down. I just want to have my family. I want to have my kids. I don't want my kids to hate me. I just want to settle down. But it's just been player. So much now to where this person, their kids don't honor them because of the lifestyle that they created, because they have not been careful with their sexuality and who they give sex to, basically. I want to stay right there really quickly. Please think about your future, and please think about what you want that future to look like. I want you to get the house and the car and to be the most respected men in the community and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have your family around you to share it, to honor you, to love you, to say, that's my daddy, that's my uncle, that's my papa, love you, it gets lonely. It does. It gets lonely. So let's talk about some of the benefits of having a sexual pause and taking control over your sexual power. So increased energy is a huge one. There are some really great videos on semen retention and what that does for your energy, vitality. This is not a guarantee, but you will make more money. You'll just have more time to do things that you weren't doing before. You'll probably go on less dates because you're not trying to get these women to sleep with you. So you will just have more money, respect, peace, and honestly a fast track to fulfilling purpose. And it will give you more women in the long run. Women are magnetized to men who are on purpose. It is like, I don't know. When I see a man who is on purpose, I'm like, oh. Like, who is that man? Who is that man? That's my response, and many women's response. And so if you choose to focus on you, if you choose to create a space where you're saying, you know what, I'm taking my personal sexual energy power into my own hands, you have no idea the women who are going to flock to you, who are going to feel that energy, and they're going to be like, he doesn't just want me for my body. It's so weird how this happens. He doesn't just want me for my body. I want to give him my body even more. Like, it's just so attractive. Now, I would advise them not to give you their body, but they're going to want to because of the life that you're choosing to live. The life of a man is a disciplined life. It is a life of honor. And specifically speaking of the life of a man of God. And so I just want to encourage you to take a sexual pause. Think about what you are doing. Think about your legacy. And think about how much you can gain by being like, you know what? This is for my wife. This energy is powerful. Like, I can't be wrapped up here with shawty. Like, can't do all of these things. And I want to move to another one. That's another thing is easier not to have children out of wedlock. I know deep down in my soul that God has given men a desire to protect and provide for their family. And when they are unable to do so and they have to leave a child, I believe, even though that man may stay away from that child, I believe that decision haunts the soul of a man for the rest of his life. And I don't want you to have to get to a point where you have a child out of wedlock, or you have a child with a person who is like not for you, like, and not for the God essence inside of you. And then you find your person, and then maybe you have to like fight with the mother over here because like she loves you, and all the craziness that happens when it's not a healthy co-parenting relationship. Also think about that, the stress on you. Like, if you are a man and a man of purpose, you just desire peace. You want your wife to be able to exude peace. But how can she do that if you don't have a healthy co-parenting relationship with the woman that you randomly slept with 5 years ago? So it's just so much to it. And thank you if you're a man, if you're listening to this. Hopefully I said something in a way to where it can register in your brain, because I know men and women communicate differently. This is my suggestion. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not telling you to be anything that your soul doesn't already know what it's supposed to do. It's just a reminder. So thank you for watching this video. And I hope that you come back and you watch the rest of my videos, and have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.